So the intention of these notes is for us to understand the main causes of World War I. And we can really understand these four simple causes using the acronym MAIN, M-A-I-N, each letter standing for one of the four major causes that led us to World War I. And the M is militarism. The growth of military powers throughout Europe during the late 1800s and early 1900s created a rising tension, and that's really what all of these acronyms really are, is increased tension in various ways. And so when European powers begin to grow their militaries to protect national interests, particularly to protect their industrial interests, not only their factories, but also their access to important raw materials, coal and iron ore being the two key raw materials they were seeking to protect. This growing in military really makes it so that neighbors don't trust neighbors. You have young countries like Germany who have national statements that they will be securing their country through blood and iron, meaning the buildup of their industrial power and the buildup of their military. And so this growing of militaries by neighboring countries, Britain, France, Germany, Austria, leads to tension. Also, we have to think about the last 200 years of European activity and invasion, the Napoleonic Wars, and even though we haven't discussed these wars, there were smaller conflicts between Germany and France in the late 1800s over a territory that sits on their border called the Alsace-Lorraine. The Alsace-Lorraine in the late 1800s exchanged hands 4 times. Sorry, I had to pause the video or the audio recording there. My kid just came running downstairs. The joy of teaching remotely, right? So anyways, the territory of the Alsace-Lorraine was the richest coal and iron ore deposit anywhere in the world that had been known by the late 1800s. And it exchanged hands between Germany and France 4 times in the late 1800s. So European powers didn't trust each other, and they grew their militaries to protect their national interests. This led to increased tension. The A in the main causes is something you've already completed, actually, the alliances and that map that you did. We have 2 major alliances that take shape prior to World War I. But when the war starts, they will change a little bit. We have the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance. The Triple Entente, and the word Entente actually is a French term for alliance. And these are what will eventually be called the Allied powers for the most part. The 3 countries of the Triple Entente were Great Britain, France, and Russia. There was a series of alliances between these 3 countries that bonded them all together. There wasn't one tripartite pact between the 3, but there was alliances between Britain and France, France and Russia, Russia and Great Britain. So there's a series of alliances that bond them all together. Eventually, when the war breaks out, formally, Serbia, Italy, and the United States will join these powers. The Triple Alliance, whom we'll eventually call the Central Powers, originally started out as Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Now I know, Italy was already mentioned with the Allied powers. Italy originally says they'll back Germany and Austria, but they will flip when the war starts. The Triple Alliance, when the war breaks out, and they're called the Central Powers, will also be joined by the Ottoman Empire. The series of alliances creates an increased tension in Europe called the powder keg effect. And there's a fantastic cartoon here. So here we have Serbia, Austria, Russia, Germany, France, and then Great Britain is the bald-headed guy with a cap on in the back. And what this really expresses is that these alliances say that if you touch anybody in my alliance, then we're going to attack you. And this is really what is the domino effect here of nations going to war, and this becoming going from a regional conflict between Serbia and Austria to an entire European conflict here, including all of these countries and more. Beautiful coloring here of ketchup and mustard. This is the Triple Alliance and Triple Entente. Here you see Great Britain or England, France and Russia as the Triple Entente, and then Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. These are the alliances prior to the war. They had sworn to protect one another. There were smaller alliances down here, particularly Russia supporting Serbia, in the region called the Balkans, which you covered on your map as well. When the war breaks out, the Allied powers, or the original Triple Entente powers, United Kingdom, or England, France, and Russia, will be joined by Romania, Serbia, Montenegro, Albania, Greece, a bunch of North African colonies that particularly France controlled, and Italy will flip sides and join the Allied powers. The Central Powers, Germany, Austria, Hungary, will be joined by the Ottoman Empire and Bulgaria. The I standing for imperialism. These countries, the countries in Europe had been at odds with one another and competing with one another for colonies throughout the world for the last 200 years roughly. And so this competition leads to tension throughout Europe. And not only were Europeans fighting for control of the rest of the globe, they were also trying to take land within Europe itself. Austria-Hungary is seeking to take land in the Balkans region. I'm going to go back a couple of slides here. Here we have Austria-Hungary and Serbia and Montenegro. This territory used to be a little bit larger here. Austria-Hungary, over the first couple decades of the 1900s, had been chipping away at Serbian land here. And so they were seeking a greater empire in Europe. So the idea of imperialism causes tension, competition within Europe. And then N, nationalism. We've talked about nationalism already before, but to refresh your memory, nationalism is the pride in your way of life. The idea that your people should govern and control your own people. That your people should have nationhood, statehood, control of your government. And nationalism has an upside. And we talk about these upsides. It brings people together with common interests. It promotes unity. It promotes progress. But it also is a dangerous thing because it can pit my way of life against your way of life and increase tension. And that's what it does. And again, I go back particularly to Austria-Hungary here. The Serbians believed that their way of life should be preserved, that they should govern themselves. Austria-Hungary was seeking greater territory and believed that they were more powerful and that they should control Serbian land. And there were people that were non-Serbians living in Serbia and that were Hungarian. And so they wanted to have those people that were non-Serbs under the control of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. We have other countries like particularly Germany, which wasn't a nation until 1888, and it wants to prove that it is a powerful country. It is, by the late 1800s, the most powerful economy in all of Europe. And so this pride in wanting to prove itself on a world stage increases tension with its neighbors as well. Whoops, there we go. So those are the four main causes. All right, let's scroll back here real quick. Militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. Those are the things that happen over a series of decades leading up to World War I. So what is the straw that breaks the camel's back? What is the event that makes this war happen? In other words, what is the spark that lights the powder keg that Europe had become? The powder keg exploding is the assassination of the Archduke of Austria-Hungary, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. He is assassinated by a Serbian nationalist, Gavrilo Princip. Gavrilo Princip is part of a Serbian nationalist group, a group of Serbians that want to maintain their independence, called the Black Hand. the Serbian nationalist group orchestrates, and you'll read it in a minute here, and it's the document called A Royal Murder. Led by Gavrilo Princip, the Black Hand assassinates the Archduke and his wife at an event that was being held in the capital city of Sarajevo. The Serbians, the Black Hand nationalist group, wants their land back from Austria-Hungary, and this assassination will now launch the system of alliances. What will happen is Austria will declare war on Serbia. Serbia is supported by Russia. So Russia will then declare war on Austria, and then all the greater powers of France and Germany and Britain will declare war on one another. And so we have here a seemingly regional event between two countries that will include eventually all of the major powers of Europe and lead to World War I. Next, you'll read the linked story of the assassination of the Archduke and his wife.